Hello and welcome back to the board. I'm the Gav Major, and this is a review of the Pan-European Tier 7 premium destroyer, HNLMS Friesland. Basically one of the options for the campaign reward of the Element of Choice campaign. So obviously you'll get one of these ships once you complete the campaign, obviously locked behind Amity back in 2,500 doubloons, and then the other choice, the other ship that you did not choose, will then be offered to you for 17,500 doubloons. Now this is a tier 6 and 7 game of Domination on Shards, and team with a Benhun, a Friesland, a Z23, Helena, Bagration, KG5, Colorado, Georgia. Spawn on the right, and I'm having a dabble at it, but I'm also seeing that my cruisers, Cleveland is vacating, and the North Carolina looks like he's vacating as well. So things aren't quite favourable, especially considering I don't have torpedoes as well, so I can't even launch torpedoes into that smoke screen. What is the Friesland? Well, the Friesland is a Dutch submarine destroyer, developed and built in the 1950s, and she's a lead ship of her class, which consisted of 8 ships. Now, these served in the Dutch Navy until the 1980s, after which they were then sold to the Peruvian Navy. There, they then continued to serve until the 1990s, and then they've been scrapped and decommissioned, I guess you could say. There should be a gap in this Benham's torpedo screen, but we will just make ourselves skinny and line ourselves up for a gap. I think we should be alright, as long as I don't accidentally accelerate into one. There we go. Very nice, very nice. So, in comparison to the other Tier 7 Tech Tree fully upgraded ships, oh god, there's got to be a cruiser around here as well, so I'm going to get out of this smoke screen because I don't want to get rushed while I'm in it. What are you looking at? Survivability, you're looking at the 4th lowest base HP of 17,600, which isn't amazing. Amusingly, she has the tough trait, but she doesn't really seem to be tough, is the best way to put it, unfortunately. Now, obviously, she has the typical tin can armor scheme that you are used to when it comes to destroyers, I guess you could say. Now, when it comes to the artillery, interesting, I guess you could say. You've got 4 4.7-inch guns mounted in 2 dual gun turrets. We have a turret up front and Y turret at the rear. Now, these do have the 4th lowest gun range of 10.9 kilometers, so that can be a little bit of a detriment, but they do have a very fast reload. You're looking at 1.8 seconds per shell, basically, which is very, very quick. Now, you do also have the 2nd fastest turret traverse speed of 7.2 seconds per 180 degrees of rotation, and the nice thing about these turrets is that they do 360 degree, which means that they basically can follow your aim point regardless of where you're going. So none of these like turrets that need to traverse all the way around to engage on the other side. So it does make the Friesland quite advantageous, because you can use your maneuverability to try and avoid incoming fire while constantly keeping the fire going down range at the same time. Now, when it comes to the shell qualities, you do have the 3rd lowest HE shell damage of 1,750. Furthermore, you're looking at an average fire chance of only 8%. You've also got the 2nd lowest AP shell damage as well. So I just got to make sure I'm locked on quite well on here. There we go. Now, when it comes to your DPMs, obviously having that 1.8 second reload is quite helpful. Only 4 guns is obviously a bit of a detriment, though, I guess you could say. We'll just have a friendly tap here, I think. There we go, we should be clear to move on out of this Jervis smoke screen. Thankfully, we do have Unstoppable, so we are going to retain some maneuverability. So yeah, when it comes to these DPMs, you got the highest HE DPM, that 1.8 second reload really shining through there. Highest fires per minute as well, about 10.7 I believe, and the highest AP DPM. Now, obviously, when it comes to torpedoes, there are no torpedoes. The reason being is obviously her design in real life is about almost like anti-aircraft and anti-submarine, and so torpedoes are kind of falling out of favour, I guess you could say. Now, when it comes to manoeuvrability, you have the third lowest speed of 36 knots, but it's only really just below average, I guess you could say. You also have the fourth smallest turn circle of 620 meters and an average rudder shift of 4 seconds. Concealment wise, you're the second largest detectability by sea, which is 7.2 kilometers base. Detectability by air is 3.6 kilometers, and detectability when firing in smoke is 2.6 kilometers. I think the enemy DD's moved over to Charlie, would be my guess, because that's been capped before the Helen has even got near it. Now, when it comes to the Consumables, she has 2 engine boosts. These will increase her engine speed by 8% for 120 seconds and has a 180-second reload, taking your base speed up to a maximum of 38.88 knots. Obviously, this can be further improved with inspirations, commander traits, and also battle booster flanks, I guess you could say. She's also got 2 smoke screens. These are exactly identical to the Fletcher. Now these have a 28-second duration, that's how long it takes to lay a smoke screen, a 124-second dispersion, that's how long it sits around for, and a 240-second reload. When it comes to the sonar, this is identical to the Z23, and it has a 90-second duration, a 180-second reload, will be able to detect ships at 4.4 kilometers and torpedoes at 3.1 kilometers, and of course you get 2 number of those as well. Now, I have been playing around with different modules and different traits, and in the end of the day, after trying all sorts of different special things, I've ended up just going for a pretty bog standard destroyer build, I guess you could say. Modules and command build will be down in the description if it is of interest. But modules wise, I've taken AA Guns Module 2, Propulsion Module 2, Concealment Module 1, and AA Guns Module 3. I decided to do the double AA. The reason being is she does have a very effective AA build, and it does mean that she can be quite amusing if you do get a carrier game, because you do just mulch through aircraft. However, as always, there's not really much else you could really do, I guess you could say. Oh, I don't want to steal this, unfortunately. Good, I'm glad someone else got it. I kind of thought I'd help my team, and then it kind of looked like, well, if I actually do get that one shell at the end, it's not really being helpful. So I'm just going to quickly turn around, I think, and see if I can maybe gun at one of these Georges. Now, as per all premium ships, she does come with a Type 9. Why is it every time I start shooting something, it's got no health left? She's also got a Type 9 permanent camouflage, which will reduce her detectability by 4.5%, so that's quite nice. It's always there, always a nice choice, and it is quite pretty, I guess you could say. So all in all, she's an interesting ship, but that lack of torpedoes is incredibly limiting, and her poor detectability and things like that aren't really strong traits, I guess you could say. She does have this great DPM, but it's trying to maximise it, find those opportunities to use it. It can be good for like focusing on a ship that's obviously a bit preoccupied with other things. It can be alright in destroyer brawls, but you have to be very careful with how your turrets get knocked out. If you lose one turret as an incapacitation, you halve your DPM, and so that does mean it can be quite disadvantageous in close quarters engagements where your turrets may get knocked out quite quickly. Advantages, obviously having sonar, same as the Germans, is quite nice. It means obviously you can do the smoke and sonar build. Smoke, same as the Americans, does give you those long-term smoke screens if you need to use them. And yeah, I mean, she's alright, it's just that lack of torpedoes. She's an interesting little addition, I guess you could say, and could be intriguing when it comes to carrier games, but they are few and far between. At least they have been this evening while I've been trying to record. So it's time to hunt down the Friesland. That's all that's left on the enemy team, and it looks like he's open water gunboating one of our cruisers, and it looks like he's probably not going to win that engagement. So there's not really much else I can do here. I think, personally, out of the choice between the Loyang and the Friesland, I think my choice is going to be the Loyang. because I find the Loyang as a nice hybrid. The Friesland is like pure gunboat, which means obviously sometimes she does well and sometimes she doesn't do too well. And it's one of those things. I like a hybrid, and I like jack of all trades, master of none. Whereas the Friesland is very much a master of one and useless at the other kind of thing. She can be a bit, when you get weak and stuff like that. You have to do like long range engagements, and they can be awkward, I guess you could say. But the other one is like, I have tried doing like a maneuverability commander, but I find like you end up having to still play the concealment game just because the way it ends up working out, I guess you could say. The way that you end up coming up against other destroyers and having to rely mostly on yourself. You can't always trust other people, I guess you could say. Walking away, okay, with a meager 37,000 damage, 2 kills, 99 hits on target, 4 detections, so doing some spotting, only getting 5 fires from those 99 hits. Getting first blood against the Benham. I think the Benham was the main thing we really worked over. The rest of it was almost just scouting and capping and things like that, hence the 2 solo caps. Team-wise, amusingly, with that very low amount of damage, coming in first place, which I'm incredibly surprised at. That's one of the things of being a gun-only boat. You're not going to be getting huge amounts of damage because you are incredibly reliable on those guns and getting fires. And so obviously the damage in the games may not be always runaway games, I guess you say. Comedy wise, walking away with a profit of 245,000 credits with a premium count and a rare credit booster. That's after a ship service cost of 138,000 credits, which is fair, I guess you could say. Obviously, as a premium ship, she does have a slightly improved credit earning potential. Well, if you did enjoy this review, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. Down in the description will be the modules, command build, link to Patreon if you want to support the channel on Patreon, as it is a non-monetized channel, and the email address to the channel if you want to send any of your own game captures for the community spotlight video on the Monday. As always, I'd like to say thank you to all the subscribers, and thank you to all the patrons whose names will be appearing on the end screen. Until next time, I'm the Gallop Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down.